All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, my guys in the studio.
Good morning and morning.
I want to report Philip. He's looking for my trouble.
You have trouble. You don't have trouble. You give him now.
Yes, I should give him. All right, the Nollywood-styled way of politics in PDP has not gone away so soon. I mean, these days they've shown us that when they expel you from a party, they will give you a certificate of expulsion. In fact, when we were in school, they said if you graduate without a good result, they will give you a certificate that you attended Ahmadu Bello University, but you didn't come out with the minister of the federal cabinet
was it the same thing with testimony Wike gave to Buhari, but we didn't
it's a new innovation.
But this country has been through a lot of
it's a new innovation.
One of my friends came from America. He said, I had a snake swallow money. Wike and his cohorts have all been handed a certificate of expulsion from the People's Democratic Party. I, in sort of a way, like the new PDP chairman, Turaki, my man for the year. I mean, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
He's my man for the year. I'm telling you, talking tough and following it with action. We can be out of PDP forever and for good. Philip.
Yes, you see, when you take it as a joke, I never see it from that direction, because you know, the present national chairman of the PDP is not just a lawyer; he's a senior advocate of the Nigerian Bar Association, of the Nigerian of the legal profession. So he knows what he's doing. He anticipates what will happen after now. So what he is doing is that there's an evidence to back the expulsion. That this is certificate of expulsion, and he quoted the section of the PDP constitution that enabled it to expel the Wike and his call from PDP, and it followed due process. You know, we have said it over and over. The control do not allow NWC to expel people, but to recommend for extension, approved by NEC and ratified by National Convention. And that's what happened. So they are sequencing the man followed, and he followed it up with an evidence, so that tomorrow, if Wike is going to court, he will say that nobody expelled me. They just, because Wike and his court have said that what happened in the Bago is a Christmas jamboree. It was a party. But now there are evidence coming out, and they followed up yesterday, because what we saw in the news was that, you know, reported by Guardian newspaper that the former chairman handed over to Turaki in the National Secretariat in Abuja, which means they are in charge. Like you said, the man don't just speak, he followed with action.
He talked the talk, and
he said they are going to rebuild PDP. Those who want PDP to die, they will be the one to be buried on the way.
Okafor.
Yeah. You know, Turaki, Bala, and Makinde.
Yes.
You know, in extension to the Ibadan Convention, were the people that cut Wike to sizes. You know, before this certificate of expulsion, which is really bit strange to Nigeria, but I think it's a kind of game Wike plays, and there are people teaching him how to play it better. You know, they stood against Wike when he came to hold an illegal BOT at PDP National Secretariat at Zone 5, Abuja. That day, Bala and Makinde and Turaki decided to play Wike's game. They forced that gate open. Even when police were throwing their tear gas,
they showed walking.
They walked and showed they walking, and Nigerians saw it, to the extent that police that had allowed Wike people who appointed unto themselves a chairman in Abdulrahman promised Bala that everybody will now vacate the place. That was the condition that made Bala, Turaki, and Governor Makinde to leave. So these two governors, Governor Bala and Governor Makinde, that worked with Turaki, that was the turning point that made Wike realize it's no longer business as usual. And I can tell you, Wike, in his closest, is not happy with this expulsion. I gather that he made moves. He made effort to ensure that that expulsion never happened that day. As a matter of fact, you know, he was one that even recommended Damago as the acting chairman.
Yes.
He made effort, frantic effort, to ensure that that expulsion never happened. But he failed at the dying minute. And the expulsion went ahead at the National Convention. You know, not to say that Wike never had grounds for animosity. not to say that Wike never had any reason to be angry. You know, if we try to stretch why Wike's anger, which appears to be unending, we will trace it back to even Atiku, you know, in the last election and all that. But again, your party has to survive because democracy has to survive. And if your condition for making peace with your own party is that your own party will not feed a presidential candidate against the new party you are serving, I mean, that is enough graduation from anti-party school of political science. And they have issued in the certificate of graduation, which is the certificate of expulsion. Now that it has been mailed to them, all of them. Turaki said that it has been mailed to them. They have now graduated from anti-party school of political science.
I'm going to come to you with another question.
Yeah.
That is going to be a little bit mind-boggling. But before then, Philip, let's look at it this way. If the Nigerian populace can stand against its aggressors, that's the leadership that we see today, there'll be a change. Like the way the PDP structure now stood against its spoilers. Now, do you think the Nigerian populace that are the receiving end of this social, economic, political downturn, can they rise up in that respect?
Well, if people see Nigerians are very gullible, they're weak, they don't resist anything. But I can assure you, there's time for everything. Nobody knew that PDP at this point, there will be men that will rise up and say enough is enough to Wike, especially when you have the likes of Makinde, who had been very close to Wike before now. And you know, you have Damago, who he recommended as the artist chairman, as his own personal person. These are the people who now said,
and Bala, who was his ally.
You know, say no, we can't go. So also to the Nigerian people. You see, when you start to have leaders like the Turaki that are coming up, that are standing on that ground, that walk the talks, one day those people should be able to mobilize the Nigerian populace against the oppressive leadership we're having now. So don't say never. It will never happen. No, you see, it will happen someday. The fact that the Nigerian people are taking all this cheat from the government, it doesn't mean that they will remain so forever. A time will come, because before now nobody thought PDP is going to come out of the wood, because Wike seems to be in charge. Wike, you know, I went to contest as a governor. He came back. Wike ensured that he remained as a secretary, and everybody said, "What is happening to PDP?"
When they passed Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Party matter stays with the party."
And with that, they took over the affair of the party, and people thought, why can't the PDP take action against this anti-party activity? And it seems nobody is going to take action. But you see, you are not seeing the action. The man is taking a different step, like he said. He's teaching Wike the games, because what the man had done, he not only issued a certificate, he dispatched it in law. Once a letter is posted in the post office, it means that you have received it. You cannot claim that, because the dispatcher will deliver the letter to your door post. So what he had done, Wike cannot claim that it's an ignorance of being a spare from the PDP. You see the step the man is taking. So this is where we are going in this country. If the leaders think that the Nigerian people are gullible, they weaponize poverty, whether they can't react, one day, even those who are dining and whining with them will lead the onslaught on them. So they should be careful.
We've seen like you analyzed the man taking the step one after the other. Does it mean they could sacrifice not participating in the election in 2027 to be able to rebuild PDP?
Let me tell you, the future is mystery to anybody that is living. We don't know about those who are dead. Nobody knows what's going to happen between now and 2027. Let me tell you, you see what is happening in the security sector. In the last 1 month that Donald Trump tweeted about coming into Nigeria, Nigerians fail to do something about their citizens. We didn't anticipate that 3 months ago. You understand me? We didn't anticipate that 3 months ago. The Badaru Abubakar that resigned, we didn't anticipate that 3 months ago. The future is mystery. That I've always told anyone. Nobody has it all figured out when it concerns tomorrow. So we do not know. It is possible to come 2027, the person that's going to lead Nigeria as a president will come from PDP. Nobody knows. But I do not think the PDP will we fully say, oh, we are not going to participate in 2027,
yes,
and as a result of that, the only thing we are going to benefit is restructuring our party? They would have rather accepted the proposal from Wike, remain at peace, but don't present a presidential candidate. So what is the essence of all these fights to achieve the same purpose? I think PDP is all out and ready to work towards having a presidential candidate come 2027. But is it going to happen? Only God can answer that question. But what is important most times, like you have always said, political solution, why it's attractive, is oftentimes to play this game out. Let somebody tell, they say, do you know how we can behave? You know how we can behave? How does he behave? He's not the worst, he's not the, there's no language like that, but he's not the maddest person in Nigeria.
Yes.
If you remove all those police from Wike, that day at PDP secretariat, we were there. He couldn't come down.
No, like,
he couldn't come down.
Before the PDP secretariat,
he couldn't come down.
That small boy
he couldn't come down.
He ought to be insulting the dog.
Forget about the boy, the PDP secretariat. He left his home to go and reclaim. He couldn't come down, even step into the office.
He couldn't come down. So when you are talking about people being mad, they are also letting him know you are not the only one who can mad. We are only being civil because we are subjecting ourselves to the rule so that we can maintain our democracy. I was at Prof. Jerry's Ghana's 80th birthday celebration the last time. Turaki he made good account of PDP. He represented himself, represented the DOT, represented the entire PDP, buying the books for them. This is Jerry Ghana, a prominent member of PDP. I didn't hear anybody from Wike's camp that represented PDP in that occasion. So Turaki is all out for PDP to be alive. If they are alive to feed a candidate come 2027, so be it. If for any reason they are not able to achieve that, what is important is that they are trying to save a party called PDP, and I just hope all other political parties take a cue from there, especially SDP, where you have Alhaji Shehu Gaban, the person that is still recognized today by INEC. His own is not even complicated. No convention yet. I think their convention will be coming in this 2026. Can they do a convention without no convention yet? Can they do a convention without? It's not even complicated at all. All you just need is to resume. So we can't keep saying because you want. Galadima said that what APC is interested in is just to have people decamp. It is better to actually decamp than to utterly destroy opposition party. If Wike thinks he can't submit himself to the rules of PDP, he can either form his own party. He won't be the first or last to leave PDP or join APC or anything he wants to do. But the Supreme Court said if you want to remain within a party, you have to resort to the internal conflict resolution mechanism to address any grievances you might have. I think Wike should, follow that out. I'm not saying Wike doesn't have any valid reason to be angry. He has, but
the place the anger stops.
You have to, or you have to submit yourself to the leadership of the party, and you have to be seen to be working for your party to be alive. You should not be seen to be playing anti-party politics. Otherwise, this certificate becomes very valid.
This certificate, from the fallout of things that we heard, Wike tried to avoid being expelled from PDP. I heard he was frantically making calls, but at a particular time, the people were determined that Wike must go, and we as a party must stand. Do you think Wike still has a fight in him?
You see, when you asked me the question before now that the Nigerian people, will they behave like the PDP in saving their party, in saving their nation? And I did say to you that if it had happened in the PDP, it can happen in the entire nation. Now, whether Wike still have a fight or not, Wike is a lawyer by training.
Yes.
So he knows that the due process of law was followed according to the constitution of the PDP. First, he was recommended for expulsion, and secondly, he was ratified, and then he was expelled. And then the national chairman took further steps and issued a certificate of expulsion. It did not end there. The certificate was sent to him to show that if the matter by tomorrow go to court and say challenge his expulsion, there will be evidence to show that Wike is aware of his expulsion. That's the purpose of dispatching that letter to him. So Wike, as it is today in the eyes of the law, as it provided by the PDP constitution, Wike is no longer a member of the PDP. He has been expelled expelled from the PDP for going against the party constitution and the party beliefs. So whatever thing Wike wants to do will be an illegal action because he's no longer a member of the PDP. So whether the question of whether we will come to fight does not arise. It's only those who are members of a political party that has a right to express themselves according to the development of the party. Wike had no stake in PDP anymore.
Wike has a group. I don't want to call them a faction, because they don't represent what factionalism means. The group that he has. Factionalism means that you are within the party
and have an ideology,
a certain voice, and you don't have another bloc that represents this.
You don't have to have another leader.
No, you can't have another leader. Now, Wike's group, let me not call them faction because they're not a faction. Wike's group that has a DOT, that has all the structures of how a party is, and they say they are the true representation of PDP. Do they still have a stake
in PDP?
Yes.
Well, if you are operating from Wike's point of view, they are the one that are PDP in their own eyes, but I do not think it's a very smart fight. And in as much as we give Wike's credit for what people might perceive as doggedness, he is not fighting a very strong, he's not a very, very great fighter. He's not been able to fight the fight within democratic principles. Just like what happened in Rivers. I told you that it was Fubara that won. Because Wike was not able to remove Fubara until the president has to come in with state of emergency. That's not a democratic fight.
No.
So you are not really a good fighter. So there are rules to games. If you want to be a good dribbler in soccer, you must follow the rule while still being able to mesmerize others. So he wasn't a good fighter even in Rivers. In this case, the same thing. Wike wouldn't have been able to go to PDP National Secretariat that if not for the police protection and all that, which comes from federal. And I kept saying this. If Wike begin to think they have a stake in PDP, the only way available is reconciliation. And you cannot be reconciling, and the proposal you are putting forward is to tell your party, to tell millions of Nigerians who are PDP member that they must support Asiwaju. That is unbecoming of any party member. You can choose, like you did in 2023. After Atiku refused to take you as a VP, you choose not to support Atiku. It's your right. You people under you, people you can handle in Rivers State, whether the result sheet was the way they claim. We saw the result sheet for Rivers State, but we have gone beyond that now. So you did all that. You didn't say Eyochayo is no longer the PDP national chairman. You didn't do that. So you can do anything within your power to support Asiwaju, but only you cannot tell the millions of Nigerians who are members of PDP to support a opposition party Asiwaju. It's unbecoming. That is why he just graduated from the advanced school of anti-party political science. Because it's unbecoming. Let's be honest. No matter the grievances you have against Atiku, if after Atiku has left the party, Atiku has left the party. So all acrimony should be dropped. Yes. So if you really want the party to survive, this is not the time to shoot the sword.
And to embrace peace.
Embrace peace.
Lastly, very lastly, INEC.
When you ask me INEC, see, they don't have any role to play here. The PDP had followed the due process. The law require a 21-day notice to be served on INEC, the detention of the party to conduct a national convention, and that notice need to be signed by the national chairman and the national secretary. That was duly done, and the convention head and new leadership emerged. All INEC needs to do is to accept them and treat them as such. Other than that, INEC had any other role to play.
All right, just very quickly. IPI, independent. What's the press? They blacklisted 3 governors, 2 governors. That's Umar Eno. But principally, the governor of Niger State, Bago,
for closing, I think that Bago was for closing a radio station. And
not only a radio station, they had also arrested some activists that.
Principally, what was more interested was because
the radio station.
Not allowing a channel to cover him. And that of IGP, because several journalists and several media practitioners have been arrested and they are still being detained by the police, some are being tried. You know, but the remarkable thing is that this same IPI also commended Ajayi, the director of DSS, you know, for what they think is improvement from what we used to have about the DSS directors. You know, I've always been saying it, not to make, you know, not to sing, not to sing his praises. If you notice, for several months, I've always been saying it, that, you know, when you pick from issues, what happened in the case of Pat Utomi, when he talked about parallel government, you know, cabinet, the shadow government, shadow government. You know, the DSS that we know before, he was in the American when he did that. As he was arriving in Nigeria, they just jack him up from the foot of the aircraft. From the foot of the aircraft. But they rather went to court. So no matter how you still look at it, this man has once preached about self-defense. I saw him on television. So when you see some of that, it's good to give credit where credit is due. He has not been so much of breaking. I just hope what we saw in the court the other time against Showore, he should not repeat it, and hopefully he wasn't the one that ordered that kind of attitude where you bungle people, injure people. You know, somebody you are seeing, why are you bungling and injuring him? I mean, all you want is the person to answer to some questions. So you should just get the person invited, listen to the people. Why do you want to break somebody's hand because the person wants to answer a question? If you destroy his tongue, how will he answer a question? So
the media as well.
Yes,
they also commented.
Yes, Shettima himself also praised the media that the way they are talking, it's impossible for us to have a dictator. Let us pray that
well, I don't know if you have anything to say, but Bago's action and that of Umar Eno trying to undermine democracy, where you say the many people have their way and the few people have their say, but not allow people to have their say, is kind of something not too good at all.
Yeah, I think the media have done something that is remarkable and is noble, you know, by coming out to say that, look, we are not out for money. These persons have breached the right of journalists, and therefore they are blacklisted.
They are calling them out.
And then they also went for them to say that, look, the DSS has done noble and we are recognizing him. And Shettima, you know, confirmed, that's the vice president, that, look, with the kind of, you know, the media practitioner we have in this country, it will be difficult because they are resilient and they are outspoken. Whatever they are known for, speaking truth to power, and that has helped. I think, yes, the media should continue that
line. All right. I don't have much time. Bago and Umar Eno, especially Bago, that I know that has intention, maybe you should take a new leaf and turn it different way. We'll be right back very soon.